Question 26, Part B. On the island of Wuppertal, the unit of currency is the clam. The rate of inflation on Wuppertal has been constant for many years. Assuming the rate of inflation remains constant, the price of a surfboard will increase as shown in the graph. Part 1. The formula used to draw this graph was P equals A times 1.2 to the power of T, where P equals the price of a surfboard and T equals the number of years after January 2000. 1. What is the value of A and what does it represent? And 2. What annual rate of inflation has been assumed? From the graph, the price of a surfboard in January 2000 is 200 clams, which corresponds to the y-intercept of the graph. So the price of a surfboard in January 2000 is 200 clams. In other words, when T equals 0, that is 0 years since January 2000, P is equal to 200. Substituting these two values into the formula, P equals A times 1.2 to the power of T, we have 200 equals A times 1.2 to the power of 0. Now 1.2 to the power of 0 is equal to 1. So the equation becomes 200 equals A times 1, therefore A equals 200. So A represents the initial price of a surfboard. The annual rate of inflation can be found by examining the formula P equals A times 1.2 to the power of T, where A is equal to 200. So P, which is the price of a surfboard in clams, is equal to 200 times 1.2 to the power of T. And the focus here is on the base of 1.2 and what it means. Now 1.2 as a percentage is 120%. So P is equal to 200 times 120% to the power of T. But 120% can be expressed as a sum of two percentages, that is 100% plus 20%. So P is equal to 200 times 100% plus 20% to the power of T. And it's important to recognize this plus 20%, which is the percentage increase year on year. Therefore, the annual rate of inflation, which is the percentage increase year on year, is 20% per year. Part 2. In January 2000, Tana started saving a fixed number of clams each month in order to buy a surfboard. The straight line on the graph below represents Tana's savings. 1. During which year will Tana first be able to afford a surfboard? Explain your answer. The points of intersection on the graph are of particular interest, so that's this point here and this point here. And it's in fact between those 2 points, Tana's savings exceeds the price of a surfboard. So we can see from the graph that Tana can first afford a surfboard in the year 2002. 2003 is roughly here, so this point of intersection is just before the year 2003. So in terms of an explanation, the points of intersection on the graph represent the break-even points, and between 2002 and 2009, Tana's savings exceed the price of a surfboard. Therefore, Tana can first afford a surfboard in the year 2002. Two. If Tana uses his savings to buy a surfboard in January 2006, how many clams will he have left? From the graph, the difference between Tana's savings, which is 720 clams, and the price of a surfboard, which is 600 clams in January 2006, is given by 720 minus 600, which equals 120. Therefore, Tana will have 120 clams left if he bought the surfboard in January 2006. 3. Write an equation that describes the relationship between Tana's savings in clams, C, and the number of months, N, after January 2000. From the previous part, we can see that Tana saves 720 clams over a period of 6 years, starting from January 2000 to January 2006. So the gradient of the line is of importance here, and the gradient of the line gives us the number of clams Tana saves per year. So from the graph, Tana saved 720 clams in 6 years, from January 2000 to January 2006, which means Tana saves 720 divided by 6, which equals 120 clams per year. But we want the number of clams Tana saves per month. So 120 divided by 12 equals 10. Hence, Tana saves 10 clams per month. Therefore, the equation is C equals 10N.